Well, it is National Sewing Month, which is so exciting. I had to explain this to someone because I was like, oh, it's National Sewing Month. And they were like, oh yeah, like there's National Pizza Month and National Pet Your Dog Month or whatever it is. And I'm like, no, this is like legit. Like the president signed off on it. President Ronald Reagan, the year I was born, proclaimed September National Sewing Month. So it is real and legit, and I am excited for it. I have so much going on this month for the channel. I've got a gajillion different projects in the works, projects that are due, projects that I'll be working on. There's a lot going on. So with all of that in mind, my plans for this month are reflective of those projects, but also somewhat reduced the list because I just don't want to bite off more than I can chew. I'm already really good at making a long list of things that I want to make each month and then not making them. So I want to be better at being more honest with myself at the beginning of the month about what I can actually accomplish. Like, don't bite off more than I can chew. So that's kind of the theme for September. That said though, there's going to be a lot of stuff that gets made, just not as much as I might normally do. First things first, I am kicking off a brand new sew along. So this sew along is sponsored by Coats & Clark. I'll be using a lot of their products on the sew along. So if you've never worked with their stuff before or you're not that familiar with some of their specialized items, you're going to want to participate too, because we're going to be talking about all of that throughout the sew along. The pattern is for a beginner. It is a Learn to Sew for Fun level 2. So it's a little bit elevated from the basic, but it is still pretty simple and straightforward. It is this knit dress, McCall's 8020. I absolutely love the little under bust seam detail. I love the little pleats in there. I'm obsessed with the little flutter sleeve. And I think that this little skirt is gonna be really flattering, really shapely, but still loose and comfortable without a waistband, because we're not sewing waistbands in 2020. So this one says velvet knits, but I'm not using velvet for mine. For mine, I chose a double brushed poly from Joann. I chose this like denim-y one with the really pretty like marigold, mustard yellow flowers in it, because I thought it was really pretty for fall, and also multi-seasonal. You can wear it many seasons because it's still a floral, but it has the dark background, but it has some light colors. Like imagine it with like a white denim jacket, imagine it with brown boots, but also imagine it with like, you know, wedges or sandals. So that's why I chose this one. They have a ton of different prints to choose from at Joann. I will link them in the description box below. Obviously you don't have to use double brush poly, but I think it would be really suitable for this pattern. They are suggesting moderate stretch knits, velvet, cotton knits, and interlock. So this is a moderate stretch knit for sure. 35%. So that's what we've got going on for the Coats & Clark sew along. That will be going up every Thursday in September. There's 4 videos. This Thursday's video is about the pattern, about fabric choice, and about all the notions that you're going to need. So if you don't have the pattern or fabric yet, it's still not too late. You can order it now and or go run to the store real quick this weekend and grab it, and you will be ready to go for the following Thursday's video when we will cut out the fabric and sew up the bodice. So that is make number 1. And you know, making things with a sew along, you would think, oh, you could knock out that dress in a day. Absolutely. I could totally cut this out and sew it in one day. But when you're doing a sew along and you're having to like break down each step, it just takes, gosh, 4 times as long easily. Okay, speaking of sew alongs, I'm also working with an app called Graphi. The app is like basically books in video format. It's kind of how they're pitching it. It's basically like if I were to write a book about how to sew a garment, how that would be written, but all on an app, all on video format. So they're all broken down into chapters, and then each chapter is made up of multiple like 1 to 3 minute little videos. So it's like little bits of information one by one so that you're not totally completely overwhelmed by learning how to sew. This is going to cover everything from the very beginning of sewing, like how to pick a sewing machine, what you should look for when you're shopping for sewing machines, what notions are, like in a basic little sewing notions kit. I mean, it's going to be very, very basic. So this isn't necessarily for a lot of you that watch these videos, this YouTube channel, but you might know someone who's been bugging you about teaching them how to sew. And so now you can tell them, go get this app, download this course, she'll teach you everything and have it under control. So in that course, I'm going to be teaching everyone how to make a garment. So you'll learn about your sewing machine, you'll learn about notions and patterns and fabrics, and then we'll kind of get into a what you would know as a sew along. And at the end of the Graphi, at the end of the course, you will have a garment. We are going to be sewing the Itch to Stitch Melrose top or dress. And I chose the Melrose because Itch to Stitch, almost all of their patterns are multi-cup sizes, and they have an extended size range. So I knew that this would be very inclusive of all types of body types, which is great. Also, you know, I don't want to teach a class on a pattern and then have that pattern go out of print. So I chose a company that's been around for a while, that's, you know, well known in the community. It's not going anywhere. And so this pattern will be available forever and ever. So that's that pattern. For the fabric, and this has not been pre-washed. This is straight off the straight off the bolt. But this is the Kaufman linen blend from StyleMaker Fabrics. And I chose this because I love linen, but I don't love how linen wears. I don't love how wrinkly it gets, and I don't love how natural it is. So a linen blend is perfect because it has the beautiful features. It's actually kind of a lot like what I'm wearing. All the beautiful features of a linen, but without all those things that I don't like. It has kind of a smoother hand. It doesn't wrinkle as much, and it's great. And also, again, I chose that because, again, I don't want to choose a fabric that's going to go out of stock in a couple of months. I want to be able to recommend something that people can get for a long time. And this is always restocked at StyleMaker. They always have it in stock or coming in stock. I got the color Ocean. How stinking gorgeous is this? It's like the perfect marriage of navy and teal. Perfect for fall. Perfect, I mean, really perfect for all seasons. So I'm really excited about making this. Again, it takes a lot to put something like this together. So it's not like I can just whip up this dress in a day. I really have to like break down all the steps and explain it really well and all of that kind of stuff. But I'm thrilled about how this is going to turn out. The fabric has the right amount of like weight and the right amount of like body for that Melrose. I'm going to be making the dress, but it has enough to hold up the elastic waistband and, you know, all the elements that go into that. The grown on sleeve, that takes a certain kind of fabric to be able to like look really good. And that also is easy to sew. You know, I wanted, same thing with the double brush poly. It is one of the easiest knits to sew with. Easy to cut, easy to sew, so on and so forth. So that's why I chose this. Super pretty, so excited. Can't wait to show you all that. Okay. So my style this month is your choice between Sew Liberated duster, some kind of duster, which is kind of like a double-breasted cardigan, double-breasted robe, woven robe thing. It's not me. It's not my style. I don't really love a lot of the Sew Liberated. Is that even who it is? I hope I'm getting that right. Did I write it down? No. So yeah, it's just a larger like overcoat that's really long. It's just, I don't really wear that kind of thing in my wardrobe. If I'm wearing a layer, it's going to be close fitting, cropped, you know. So the other option though is the blank slate patterns marigold dress, which is 1000% my style. It is a half button placket with a like little stand collar, elastic waist, and then you have choices between a cute little cap sleeve, a 3/4 sleeve with a slit, or like a full sleeve with a whole full button placket. And then your skirt that has pockets. So that's what I'm going to be making. I actually already have that pattern, which is even better. So I don't have to buy it again, which is great. And I wanted to make it with fall in mind, but also with like quarantine in mind. I want to be able to make something that I can wear this year. So I actually pulled this out of my fabric stash. And remember, for me, so my style, I'm only sewing from the stash. So what I've got is what I've got. And so I chose this. And is this Liberty or is it just a Liberty knockoff? I have no idea where I got it, but it is that like lightweight voile type of cotton. And then it has, you know, the all over repeated print like Liberty has. But I don't know. Do any like Liberty lovers out there know what this is? If it's not, then it's trying to be Liberty, which is also fine. But it has these cute little birds on it and this like kind of, you know, smaller motif. So that is going to be the dress. Again, dark background. It'll have like I said, a half button placket, so it won't be like so much, but it is still kind of a lot. I'm still gonna do the little cap sleeve, and yeah, that'll be this. I just can't think of anything else to make with this anyways, besides like a little, you know, light floaty dress. So might as well just make it out of this. So I am gonna try and go ahead and get this cut quickly so that I can work on it in little chunks when I need a break from filming the other two big projects that are going to take up a lot of my time. So that's that. And then if there's time left over, I want to work on at least one of my works in progress. What I realized when I made that as my New Year's resolution is that a lot of my works in progress are fall and winter items. And so I just could not get motivated to do it in the spring or the summer because I knew I wouldn't be wearing it. So I do want to try to get to some of those. I do want to try to get to one of those if I have time left over, but I do need y'all's opinion on something, okay? So I have these two linen dresses, speaking of linen and why I don't like it, that over time have shrunk, and so now they're too short. But I do love them. They're well made. And so I'm wondering if I can combine them somehow. So I have this dress, which I think is I don't know what it is. The one with the sleeve and the tiers, multiple tiers. Anyways, I have this, also half placket, cute little sleeve. I do love this sleeve, and multiple tiers, but it's still too short. I don't have any more of this to make another tier before you guys suggest that. I could obviously chop it and make it into like a peplum. That's one idea. But I also have this, which is the Megan Nielsen something. Oh God, you can even tell. It's a button front. This got too small in the bust. Maybe my bust got larger when I gained weight, but it's also just all sorts of things. It has the pockets that I hate, the little dangly teardrop pockets. Like I can't even get it back in, whatever. So I have this, right? And so again, this has like a lot of cute elements to it, but it's too small in the bust. So I cannot keep the bust or the bodice. What I can keep is the skirt. Do you think I can combine these to use the top from this and the bottom of this? So that would look something like, let's see if I can get this together. Hold on. Okay, it would look something like this. That looks terrible. Okay, so it's definitely not this idea. So what should I do? Make this into a peplum? Sure. And this, what should I do with this? Make it into a skirt? I don't know. I mean, the skirt isn't even that voluminous, and it's cut on the center front, so I can't even do a whole lot with it. Should I just donate it to Goodwill and let somebody else love it? Any ideas? Let me know. I thought in my mind I could put these together because it's like they're both blue and white, but that idea was horrible. So that answered that. But if you have any ideas for either one of these, please leave them in the comment section below. And that is it. That is all I have planned for September, makes wise, because a couple of those makes are very, very involved and are going to take a lot of time. Not the makes themselves, but the content that goes along with them. So we'll see how I do. You'll have to check back in on the when I do my September makes video, and see what all I got done. You can probably also tell just based on social media and stuff like that. But that is gonna do it for my September plans video. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think of this little doodad, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.